So now that we finished all the operations, I wanted to go over some final notes. It's going to be referring to the setup, sheet, and post process. Kind of make this a little bit neater. I like to do some housekeeping and renaming these operations. So generally, as you start populating these operations, it's going to give it generic names. So I'm gonna type in drill hole 250. Since the next operation, I know we're making that hole a little bit bigger. Rather than it just saying drill, I can tell it interpolate holes 0.266. This is so as you go along and actually start to produce this part, it will be easier to navigate the operations. This one I can put see how there's two 2D pockets. So they're referring to different things and they're right next to each other. So I can rename this one rather I'm put inside pocket and put uh, rough contour edges, and then this one I can put finish outside contour. I like to always take a moment, do some housekeeping. Like I said, it just makes things a little bit easier to know what you're looking at. So I'm gonna hit setup sheet. I'm gonna continue and hit open. So it just auto generates a setup sheet, and this makes it easier. So when you're at the machine, it's easier to know what you're looking at. So there's some information here. Setup two. Um, it lets you know the size of your stock, um, your material, final size. So we have a stock of 3 inches. The overall width on our Y should be 2.5. Our X was already to size. So from the looks of this, we're going to be cutting off about a quarter inch. Uh, that's accurate. That's because we only took off zero point zero 0.05, but on the backside, there should still be more material. So let's go along. Um, it has information here. So it seems like it didn't select everything. So we have number of operations, number of tools. So what could have happened is I had this highlighted. So if you wanted a setup sheet for everything, highlight setup, setup sheet, hit open. Now we got everything. So let me see. Um, so we got 5 operations, 1 tool, and tools. It makes a list. We only got 1 tool. That's tool two. Um, it's just some information. Maximum feed rate 40. Uh, Typically, you want to keep an eye on that. Maybe you don't want on a desktop mill. You wouldn't want to see this at 100. So just calling up the tools here. Um, this will be more for when you're doing the VF2. It'll let you know what type of tool holder you called out for. Uh, let's see, operations. It's in order. So the first operations drilling and using flat end mill has information about the tool. It's a 3 flute. We're using a 2 flute. We can change that. Let me see what looks like. Some of these have the coolant still on, so we can go back and change that. See, it has drilling holes, 0.250, interpolating holes. So our second operation, third operation, it should be 2D pocket. Just some information about the feed rate, the spindle speed. You're just making sure you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Maybe sometimes people will forget to put in by some reason they might accidentally change a spindle speed or feed rate. Here's a good chance to take a look at it. Uh, see. Also, if you notice tolerance here, uh, you just keep in mind that if you left stock, it'll let you know, like in this contouring edges, that pocket operation, we left 0.02 stock, so it's calling it out here. And down here at the bottom, we're not leaving any stock, so just remember to take a look at that. Just makes it easy to know what's going on. So, final thing we can do, make sure this is highlighted. You can hit post process. Again, this is defaulted based off of what you have here, 1002. And just keep in mind that's gonna come up, setup, and you're gonna hit simulate. You're gonna hit post process, and there isn't. There's a few things you can take a look at here. Start sequence number, so it just names lines by number, so you know where you're at in the program. Right machine, so you can say what machine that's meant for. You can tell it to make a tool list, just so you know what's going on in the program. You want to make sure that it is retracting, so G53. Let me see some other stuff. I like having the optional stop option selected as yes. Um, let's see some other things. I like to have G0 selected yes. Let me see anything else. Yeah, that's about it for now. So we can hit post, and we can just save it. Ideally, you would have a thumb drive that you would save it into, but for now, I'm gonna save it in my cloud. Hit yes, and yes. So if we did everything right, it should populate. This is the entire program here. So it lets you here. It's your program number. Here's the comment. That's whatever you put in that second line at that final tab for your setup sheet. Uh, lets you know what tool you're using, the diameter, which is D equals. Um, it's letting you know what type of tool. Uh, just some things to keep an eye out for. G53, that's sending the tool home. So it's sending the tool all the way up before it does anything. Just gets it out of the way so it doesn't hit anything as it's going to go into position in this line. So tool 2, M6, that refers to a tool change. Tool 2 is calling up tool 2. M6 is a tool change. S1 10,000, that's the spindle speed. M3 is turning on the spindle. G54, that's based off of our work coordinate system. And G90 is in absolute mode, so everything is absolutely referenced off of G54. That's where these numbers come into play. So this turns on the coolant, as you saw. We need to turn off the coolant back in our setup. Uh, this is going to be the first hold location. So what we want to do, what we can verify is I'm going to highlight that, go to Inventor. So now I'm going to go and simulate this. And if I wanted to verify what's going to happen here, um, let's see, 370. So if you notice, this number is x negative 3.625 and y 2.0. 375. So that's our first toll location. So we can go back to our simulator. That's our first toll location. So when we're running our machine, that's what we want to see. So when we run this, we're going to see that wherever it starts in the simulator, we want to verify our machine is in the same position because it's going to do this. So if that number uh, um, was here, well, let's say in the machine, it started off here and we were meant to be here. This tool path is gonna travel the other way. So it's just some things to keep an eye out so you know whether you are where you're supposed to be. And go back to the post processor. This is referring to the tool length. So it's calling up G43H2. So in our offsets page, it's gonna call up our tool 2. So during the setup, we would have recorded where the tool is in the machine. Uh, so just some stuff to take a look at. I just make sure that at the end of the cycle, it's going back home. It cancels the G83. This is a can cycle. Um, this is interpolating. I'm just keeping an eye out that I don't have a Z value that's really big. 0.25. Um, Sends it home. As you go along here, you can take a look. You can go to the next tool change. Well, there's no more tool change. Uh, Let me see. As we scroll down, it lets you know what it's about to do. So it seems like this program just pretty much goes for it. So we got an inside pocket here. So that's why it's important to name your operations. Just makes this easier to navigate. Scroll down, scroll down, uh, and then contour edges. I think we're gonna decide that down the road whether we want to post the whole program or post it um, operation by operation. So if I just wanted to do one operation, I can hit this post process, hit post, and save it. Yes, and it's overriding that because it has the same number. You can change the number as you go along. But now, because I only selected that one operation, this is only gonna cut. It's only gonna program that one operation. So finish inside out contour. This looks pretty straightforward. It's just doing it in smaller chunks makes it easier to navigate rather than having one big program. We will see how we will approach this, but that's just some things to look at while you are in the post processor. And that's about it.